Greetings. Hi there from Casa Barnes and Dew. We're here in the time of stress,
Yes.
and we thought that this would be a perfect time to do a Life Writing Live, talking with you, sharing with you, connecting with you, our community.
Hope you're doing okay. This has been a pretty unbelievable time right now. So I know we have a lot of changes in our lives. I'm going to be teaching remotely from UCLA and a lot of uncertainty in the future. And I know you all are feeling that stress too.
So we thought that this would be, perfect if we talk to you about how we're experiencing it, what we're doing to protect ourselves and our families, to find out from you what we can do to support you. Then we're being a community
Yes.
together, and we're using Facebook, for instance, in social media for one of the purposes that it is best suited, which is to knit us together when we cannot get real hugs. We can get virtual hugs.
Virtual hugs
Virtual
for everybody. So sending you best wishes and thoughts, and hope none of you are having any coronavirus issues. I just thought I would talk about a few of the things that I'm using to help me through this time. Our son is home from school. I'm doing a lot more cooking than usual, which is actually very time consuming. They don't show that in the plague movies, do they? So luckily, right before all this happened in February, I went to an expo for high performers. They actually called High Performers Expo, which gave me some tools that I've actually had to really use in the trenches in the wake of this pandemic. And it all starts with gratitude. The man who ran the expo, Brandon Bouchard, is a life coach and has had a near-death experience. So for him, every day is precious. And part of what I took away from that is that I needed to wake up every day and just remember everything I'm grateful for. So I meditate by holding my fingers together so I can feel my heartbeat. That helps center me a little bit. And I do counting to 10, one nostril in, the other nostril out, and on 5, inhale and exhale through the same nostrils, just sort of a mental exercise to keep me focused. But for those 10 breaths, I am grateful for my life. That's the first one. Everything I can think of that I'm grateful for in my life. And then my son's life, I do 10 breaths for my son and my stepdaughter, 10 breaths for my husband, for my father, for my sisters, for my friends. Just as long, I'm not a great meditator, so as long as I can stand to sit there still, I will just breathe in and breathe out how grateful I am even in this terrible time. So you may be having trouble thinking of things to be grateful for. You have money concerns, you have health concerns. Sometimes it takes a lot of breathing to find that space. But at a time when we are surrounded by headlines about how terrible things are outside of our homes, it is very important to be grateful for what we have. Thank you for the roof over my head. Thank you that there's food in my pantry. Thank you that my child isn't sick. Even if you have to really reach down, try to find enough to be grateful for to sustain you through 5 minutes of breathing and just sitting with your life and everything that we do have.
And one of the things I wanted to add about that is that if you think about the things that you're afraid of, most of that is loss of things that you have now.
Right.
And if you would feel grief about losing those things, then why not feel joy that you have them now?
Right, we got it.
You have them now. If I would be afraid to lose, a family or my friends, my health, then isn't that a reason to celebrate them while you have them? I mean, ultimately, life takes everything from all of us. This is an opportunity for us to actually get in touch with the fact that a life is lived in the now, and that while we do things to preserve ourselves, to take caution, to make plans. Yes, we must do those things. But what drives all of that is that sense of being connected to joy, that sense that life is fighting for,
right,
that love is something precious. So every day, Tananarive puts her fingers together like this. I will generally sit up and I will just get quiet enough to listen to my heartbeat in my chest. And I will do that, and I will connect with the little boy that I used to be and be sure that that image of him seems safe and protected and happy within me. And if he doesn't, then I will literally ask that image of myself, tell me, what should I do to protect you? What am I not doing enough of? And then I will shut the F up and listen to what he has to say to me. And that wisdom, that clarity, children often have so much more connection to the life force, to our sense of joy and love. Trust your instincts, trust your heart, especially now in this time of stress.
And that'll help give you the tools, to fight through your day, the worry, the anxiety, the, oh my gosh, am I going to have a job? Or will my parents have a job? Or can I get to my loved ones if they get sick? All those anxieties are still going to be there, but start with the gratitude, and it gives you more power to get through them. The second part of my personal magic formula for getting through my days is movement. One of the things I really love about Richard's teaching is this idea that you work for 50 minutes and then for 10 minutes you give yourself a break. 50 minutes. So for the first 50 minutes of your hour, you are completely focused, you've turned off social media, you're actually doing what you need to do, and then 10 minutes, do whatever you want. Check Twitter, check Facebook.
You play piano a lot of times, don't you?
Piano. I dance. I have started dancing every day when possible. Thank you, DJ Nice on Instagram. Anyone who is on Instagram for the quarantine party knows that we were dancing in the kitchen and wherever we were all weekend long. Be your own DJ. If it's not dance for you, then walk. Stay away from people. Try to keep that
wave at them.
Keep that 6 foot distance. It can be awkward to veer away, but do it. Trust me, because trust me.
I have found that people
Veer
are
away.
very responsive. They really appreciate you looking out for them.
Right.
When you wave to them and say, stay safe, it's like you see them. We don't know how lonely they might be,
right.
how much separation. And if you go out, be sure to be extra kind to the people that you encounter, extra nice, respect their space, but let you know that you see them as a human being.
But seriously, the 6 feet is number one.
6 feet. Yes,
I'm all
it
for
is.
love and everything, but the 6 feet is number one. And also, I saw a post on Twitter from a woman who said she'd been in her house for 10 days and she missed outside, so she went to her balcony and felt the sun on her face. Our bodies need sunlight. Our skin needs sunlight. We are going to start having vitamin D deficiencies if we stay inside without the sunlight. So take those vitamin D supplements if you're not going out, if you have them, but open your door, stand in the sun, move, dance, exercise. My exercise routine has never been better. No excuses. I can't make up a single excuse about why I'm not working out, because I have nothing but the time to work out in a lot of ways. And that brings me to the third part of keeping it together at a time of crisis, and that is ritual. I remember when I was a full-time writer for about 15 years, I had a rule that I had to be dressed and showered by noon. I know that sounds kind of laughable compared to what the rest of the world was doing, but now you're probably sitting in your pajamas right now as you're listening to this. So, structure really helps. Part of what we're grieving is the loss of the structure in our lives. So while it might seem fun for a couple days to just lounge around and binge watch stuff, what we're actually craving is a return to feeling like there are places we're supposed to be and things we're supposed to be doing. So since we can't go to those places, we can have, okay, by noon this happens. By 6 o'clock, my son starts his schoolwork. Yeah, 6 o'clock in the afternoon, because we have the freedom to choose the time. So it can be late if we want, but it's a ritual, and that's good for him too. He has a ritual when he has to get up, when he has to start his work. Find those rituals. We have one that Richard recommends called Done by One, which is you try to do all the stuff you have to do by 1 o'clock in the day, and then the rest of the day is just what you want to do. And it is awesome. And then we've, of course, had to revise it because sometimes you're not done by 1. It's more like through by 2.
Free by 3. Out the door by 4. Alive by 5.
But whatever it is, I try not to push off the stuff that I'm dreading till the end of the day. I try to front load that stuff. Like today, I'm grading papers and doing final grades. So I have a certain number of those I have to do every day to keep up my personal quota. But when I'm done, I'll be writing, and I'm working on a novel. And this is not to make you feel guilty if you haven't been able to write, but if you are the kind of person who can shut out the news and just hunker down, this is a perfect time to write. I don't feel bad if you can't, but try. A sentence a day is the method we teach in life writing.
That's right.
I am so close to finishing my book, people.
I can't wait to read it.
I feel like my finale takes place on a Friday, and it is Friday. Okay, so I am that close to finishing my book. I'm going to have a book out of this period try to have something, whether it's your hobby. Everyone should have a hobby. Like Steve said, I played the piano. Our piano is right. Well, my keyboard is behind us.
There's a keyboard.
And there's the piano, the grand piano. So hey, get better at something like you have an instrument in the closet you haven't picked up since high school. Now's the time. If you've always wanted to draw, take an online course. Now is the time. Anything you can do with other people, like synchronized courses that are live. That's great, because like here, you're getting to talk to each other and interact with each other.
You know, something I was just thinking that you might want to get a plague buddy. You know, you'll find somebody on social media that you are checking in with every day. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you keeping your commitments? Are you moving? Are you thinking? Are you dancing today? Maybe you do a Facebook Live for that person and you dance for each other. I mean, there are all sorts of things you can do. The point is that the limitations are obvious right now, but the opportunities are also there.
Yes.
Voluntary simplicity is one of the doors to a deeper and deeper sense of spiritual connection. We don't need our stuff. We don't need most of the things we do. What we need is to own our lives. What we need is to feel that we are making progress towards something that is meaningful to us, for us, that we are taking care of our families, we're contributing to our communities. That is actually what allows us to feel alive and engaged and growing. It's like right now, I've been building up to this call, you know, this for weeks, you know, and in some ways months and a couple of years, because of what it is that I want to contribute. The fact that it's a national emergency right now, where people are being especially asked to be sober, asked to make small sacrifices so that we don't have to make large ones later. If you listen to old time radio, the stuff during the war, people were not able to eat everything they wanted. They were being discouraged from traveling as much as
you couldn't get butter.
You couldn't get butter. People were being drafted. It was the entire country was making sacrifice so that we could survive, so that we could be a force for good in the world. If we're being asked to make some sacrifices right now, it is no more than our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents were asked to do for us. It's simply our turn to protect the children who come after us. And they will look back on us now, and they're looking up to us now saying, how do we feel about this? How are we supposed to feel about what's going on right now? So if you can deal with that with joy, if you can find a way to take joy and feel responsible in this time, then you are showing the people around you that it is possible to have joy and give love and support and to move our lives forward even in the midst of the challenges.
And there are a lot of people in need right now. The government has been slow to respond in terms of what are you going to do about rent? What are you going to do about mortgage? What about your barber? What about your housekeeper? All these questions. And if we can start with our own balance and stability and find our own sense of joy to overcome anxiety, that opens our hearts up to say, oh, I'm doing pretty well, but I bet so-and-so could use $50 right now, you know,
Yeah.
So, a service worker that you're used to working with or a relative.
Yeah, there's a service worker that Tananarive works with whose job is suffering, and who she had been going to for a certain purpose, and she can't do that right now.
Right.
So I said, well, why don't you send him some money,
Yeah.
buy services in advance?
Right. And those are the kinds of things you can only think about when your feet are on the ground, when you're feeling rooted in your own confidence and you've managed to fight back your own anxieties.
Someone in your social circle is thinking about ending their life. Someone who you connect with on Facebook or out there, or who you meet going to the store or pass on the street, is thinking that there is no reason to keep going. And if you can smile to them, if you can be a source of good, a source of hope, a source of love in this time, you could save a life today. You really could. You are that important. You
Right.
matter. The way you think and feel and act in the world matters. And when we stop believing that our actions and words don't matter, oh, what difference does it make? When we start grasping that we are all part of a tissue, that we're in this together, that can lift us up and make us want to be the best we can be. And I want each and every one of you to want to be the best you can be, to want to share and to love and to go to bed at night. Another Burchard thing. Did I live? Did I love? Did I matter? every night, every day I wake up, what can I contribute to the world? What can I give to the world? Because I've been so blessed. I have this wonderful woman. I have a wonderful family. I have a career that is exactly what I wanted when I was a child. I got the martial arts knowledge and experiences that I craved when I was a kid and being bullied. And when you're on the other side of those things, it's appropriate to start asking, what can you give rather than what are you getting?
So Steve has a terrific tool he wants to tell you about that you can really start using today.
Yes.
To help you overcome stress.
Okay. What I want you to do, it's the 5-minute miracle. It may be the single best thing I have because it's so powerful, and the buy-in is just 5 minutes of your time, for God's sake. So what you're going to do is, go to YouTube and look up diaphragmatic breathing, breathing from your diaphragm, deep belly breathing, deep, slow belly breathing. That is the key to fighting stress. And when you fight stress properly, you keep stress from becoming strain. The fear does not destroy you. It actually becomes the energy that you need to drive your life. So all you have to do to use this is every day, I would say right now in this time of stress, every hour on the hour.
Yeah.
If you say, well, take 10 minutes or 5 minutes out of every hour for yourself. Okay, so take one of those minutes and you simply do deep, slow diaphragmatic breathing for 60 seconds. 60 seconds per minute per hour belongs to you. Take that back from the world. Now, if you can also think about gratitude, and you think about what you're going to do in the next hour or what you have done that is furthering your goals and making your family healthy, those are all great things, but at least start with the animal portion of just breathing right, because when you breathe right, the stress of fear becomes the energy of action. And when you do that, when you're taking action towards your goal, when you're doing something, fear and grief and guilt and all that stuff is out the window and becomes subsumed in the category, I am acting. You don't feel those things except when you stop acting and begin to ponder.
And this is for a minute.
Just 60 seconds.
And you
every hour.
I would imagine that you should unclench your teeth. They're probably clenched right now. Remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Loosen your muscles. Just sort of be a scarecrow.
Yeah, let's do that kind of together.
And breathe.
And when you inhale, your belly should go out, not your chest lift up, but put your hand on your belly. And when you inhale, let your hand go out. Push your hand up.
So
just start with that.
Just do your breathing and reconnect with that part of you deep down that believes and knows that everything will be okay.
Our ancestors have been through far worse than this. That because we're taking action now, we're staving off a potential disaster later. And if it turns out not to be as serious as we thought, we'll be able to laugh about this. But if it could have been serious, if we look at the people who did not take such actions and are terrified at what happened with them, then our children, our grandchildren will look at us and say, thank you. You did the hard thing. You did the necessary thing. And because of that, we are safe.
So all of you be safe. I'm so serious about the social distancing. Don't go to parties or little parties. And really just we have no idea the reach of this virus because tests have not been readily available.
That's right.
If we knew, we probably would have been social distancing a long time ago. So let's just take all those precautions, but keep your joy while you do it. Share your joy with your family and your loved ones. And
I will very briefly say that for months, I've been building up to launching the Warrior's Journey course that takes all of the things that I've learned from the martial arts and yoga and meditation and hypnosis and the things I've learned from the wonderful teachers that I've had and boils it down so you don't have to go through those 10,000 hours in order to get those benefits. And we were going to launch it today at the full price, our usual price for our courses. But because of what is going on now, I talked with my partners and we've cut that price in half. We've cut it to the bare bones that we can literally afford to give it away for without damaging ourselves. And if you'd be interested in taking a look at what we've got, from the bottom of my heart, I created this for my son, my daughter. I have never created anything that's better than this. And it has the best suite of products to support healthy sleep, healthy movement, dealing with fear, turning fear into energy, everything. It's the warrior's journey, and you can take a look at it. It's available now at www.fearmasters.com.
That URL is right there on the link for this video, so you can find it at www.fearmasters.com. It has tools that both of us use that we're passing on to our son.
100% lifetime, not lifetime, say a year-long guarantee or 6 months guarantee. If you need your money back, we'll give it back, and then you'll still have all the stuff. We're trusting you on that. We're taking all the risk. Please, please, please. And we will be talking to you again. I'm going to do this as close to every day as I can, 5 days a week, because we need to be in touch with each other. Now, when we can't hug you directly, we can virtual hug. So virtual hug and Wakandan salute.
Wakandan salute. 6 foot distance. Oh, not you. Okay. All right, everybody. Stay safe.
We love you.
And we will get through this.
We absolutely will. We'll see you again very soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.